Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome back to another rendition of the Bros and the Berg podcast. It's your favorite place to get all your sports, entertainment, all your best takes to tell your buddies at school, then say, "Where the hell did you hear that?" And you pull up this podcast and they immediately block us. I'm your co host, Ryan Doyle, joined by my ever more handsome younger brother, executive producer, Connor, and the additional guy who gets on this podcast sometimes, fights with our TikTok commenters, and is in general
I'm right more than they are, so good shit on, honestly.
Hey, he picked Panthers over 7.5 wins this year.
If they lose 4 in a row and
that would be brutal.
I'm actually going to change affiliations on my team.
Back to the Colts.
I did want to clarify, Ryan. We have to know our audience here, and mention going to school and telling your friends about it. You have to specify med school, because I believe that probably like 75% of our listeners are in med school, probably at UT Austin right now. So shout out.
So you're saying we appease to the educated demographic? Is that what I'm hearing?
Does that say something about us? I think it does.
It might.
It might.
Shout out, Jude.
Who's going to be on later this episode, actually.
It's the bottom end of the IQ curve there for our listeners.
Hey, someone has to be there.
Someone has to be there.
That's tough. Speaking of, no transition there. We're going to get into the NFL to start things off today. So the way that we're going to structure today, we're going to start off with the NFL. Going to do a quick little diversion into the NBA, and then we're going to bring James and Jude on for our college football playoff discussion. They tied in terms of they were the guest pickers for this year. In terms of their scores, they ended up tying, so we decided to have them both on.
There is some controversy on our college football pick'em standings that we can get to when we're not related to them, but related to us.
Yeah, related to us.
We'll get there.
Okay,
we'll bring it up later. I actually have not told you guys yet. This is a live reaction, but there is going to be some controversy. I already know. So
little hook and tease.
We'll talk about it.
Promise.
Sticking around. But to talk about this last week in the NFL, it was week 15. We're gearing up for the end of the season. We're going to talk a little bit about the playoff picture, but let's talk a little bit about the Thursday night football game, gentlemen. Kind of a surprise loss for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Atlanta Falcons overtake them 29-28. Kyle Pitts, we've been saying it. I've been saying it. Ryan's never seen it.
No one's been saying it.
Kyle Pitts with a hell of a day, 166 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns. Kirk Cousins almost thrown for 400 yards. Kirk O'Chains is back? Question mark.
He fucking hates the Bucs. He just despises it. It's like Bryce Young against the Falcons. Like it's Kirk Cousins against the Bucs. It's the same shit.
Exactly.
Bro, Kirk was never gone. What do you mean back? He never left.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Talking a few of these other games here. Baltimore at Cincinnati. Joe Burrow with one of his worst performances in the last 2 years. Baltimore coming out on top 24-0 against Cincinnati. Baltimore that's also been struggling a little bit in the AFC. Ryan, anything from this from your adopted hometown team here?
I didn't think it was they had a chance to look worse than the Cowboys this past weekend, and they did. Right, like
you're wrong.
The whole narrative was like, the defense can't even give the offense a chance. Now the offense is stinky poo poo. I mean, zero points. I mean, defense holding Baltimore to 24.
Their offense has been pretty bad too.
Be able to potentially win that game.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a elite quarterback as checked out as Joe Burrow right now? Because he is checked out, and he's not only is he checked out, he's saying out loud that he's checked out.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough though. It's like when you come into a situation where it's that bad, and year after year. I mean, other than obviously that 2021 run, it's just been like they still refuse to get you a competent offensive line. The defense is the worst it's ever been. Like if you are, and granted he hasn't played up to his full potential, but if you are a superstar the caliber of Joe Burrow for the most part, it's just like I understand a certain level of dejection when you're like in seasons past I can't do much more. Like you've got to do more around me for me to be able to win.
This one's on him. You have to score points.
This one is. Yeah, no, I'll give you that one. Yeah, he just had a terrible outing, but yeah.
I mean, and 95% of teams, Zach Taylor is a dead man walking. But the Bengals just don't fire coaches. Like he's like 40-50 in his tenure. And the people have been like, the Bengals have been, good. I'm like, yeah, they've been good compared to like the last 20 years, sure, but like
Not even compared to the last 20 years. Let's go back to when they had, AJ Green out there and Andy Dalton making the playoffs every year. They didn't win a lot of playoff games.
Yeah.
But they were in the playoffs every year. And those teams made the playoffs more than Zach Taylor's Bengals have made the playoffs.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. Teams in deep doo-doo.
Very much so. But we're talking about another matchup here. Los Angeles Chargers at the Kansas City Chiefs. For the first time in a long time, the Kansas City Chiefs were eliminated after losing this game 16-13 from the NFL playoffs. Unfortunately, Patrick Mahomes did end up tearing his ACL, a trend we've seen or it seems like we've seen a lot more this year. But, obviously, well wishes to him. Hopefully he has a healthy recovery. But
real convenient ACL tear.
I was going to say... all the stats going into this game are about how if they lost this game, the Chiefs were eliminated from playoffs, and therefore would be the first meaningless snaps of Patrick Mahomes' career had they lost and then they kept playing. He's going to tear his ACL, so now he'll still have never taken meaningless snaps. Anyone going to dive into it?
He's just trying to be like Tom Brady. Tom Brady, when he tore his ACL, was against the Chiefs. I don't know where I'm going with this. Patrick Mahomes just wants to be.
That was
Tom
week
Brady.
1 as well, but so something that's like they did it, in the same season too. It was like Mahomes is like 8th season, 9th season, something like that, and Brady did it in the same season kind of thing. But
that's kind of crazy, actually.
Brady was week 1, and then Matt Castle led that Patriots team to playoffs that year.
Matt Castle was a dog. Matt Castle got Matt Castle paid the rest of his career.
Matt Castle, had he not gone to USC, probably would have been a top tier NFL or college quarterback, not NFL, college quarterback. But he's behind Carson Palmer, Matt Leinart at USC. So shout out Matt Castle.
Tough couple dudes to be behind in college.
2 Heisman winners to be behind.
Yep. The Kansas City Chiefs have been eliminated from the NFL playoffs, first time in a long time. So exciting to see kind of the AFC. I mean, the whole NFL is wide open in terms of the NFC and the AFC. I mean, it's wide open. I think we're going to see a unique matchup here this year.
Did you, real quick stat, this is the first time since 1998 that there will not be a Mahomes, Manning, or Brady in a AFC or NFC championship game.
It's crazy.
That is crazy. Wow.
It's crazy.
Good set. Sticking to the AFC, talking about the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots, a bit of a shootout, kind of what we expected from this game. Buffalo did
that game
come
was
out on
crack. That game was crack. It was so much fun to watch.
Injected into
20
my
right
veins.
into my vein.
Come back.
24-7.5.
Josh Allen and Drake May, 2 of the best quarterbacks playing today. Maybe the 2 best quarterbacks playing currently in the NFL. Buffalo did come out on top here. Some really interesting stuff at the top of the AFC playoff picture.
Did you see Drake May leading Travion Henderson down the field for a touchdown?
Can we talk about how fast Travion Henderson is? Travion Henderson's so fucking fast.
Yeah.
I just want to see him reverse field every time he touches the ball because I'm not sure that anyone can catch him.
That's true.
And so did he have like blackmail on like the coaching staff at the beginning of the year? Like,
I think he fucked Vrabel's wife.
I think so too.
No, what in real analysis world, I think his pass protection was really bad at the beginning of the year, which is weird because coming out of Ohio State, that was one of the things the scouts like. He's great in pass pro, like he's going to be able to do all these things for you, blocking for the quarterback, and then he was just kind of terrible at it.
Yeah,
but I think he's figured that out, and also Ramondre Stevenson's fucking washed. Like like he's fine, but like, he's gonna fumble and like he's gonna get you 3 to 4 yards of carry. But he's not going to break one for 250-yard rushes like Travion did. Yeah. So,
God, they have like an absolute cemetery in the New England backfield. They have Antonio Gibson and Ernest Johnson. Those are some jokers who have each had a week of fantasy relevance. Anyways, we can continue.
The first quarter of the season, both Antonio Gibson and Ramondre Stevenson were out rush, getting more attempts than Travion Henderson, which again doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Well, speaking of Travion Henderson, he is currently, I think it was either this week or last week, has overtaken Emeka Egbuka for the odds-on favorite for Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think deservedly so.
What a bad Rookie of the Year.
It's terrible. Yeah, it's awful. And like Ted McMillan was up there for a while, but
he's number 3
the Panthers. Right now. But they've
they would never give that man Rookie of the Year. Are you kidding me?
No, he did drop a touchdown this weekend, which if he'd caught, he might have had a better chance. But
speaking of some other more relevant matchups in terms of the playoff picture, the Green Bay Packers at the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos coming out on top 34-26.
They just keep fucking winning, man.
They can't keep getting away with it.
They keep
right? And they keep getting away with it.
Next game I want to talk about. Robbie, what do you have to say about Trevor Lawrence and the Jags hanging a 50 piece on the Jets, almost 50 piece.
48. 48.
I've never said anything bad about Trevor Lawrence in my life. Listen, that man led my fantasy team to 195 points this past weekend. I have nothing bad to say about Trevor Lawrence for the first time in my life. Now, when he puts up a big stinky doo-doo egg against the Broncos next week, we'll revisit that.
We'll come back there. Yeah, we'll come back.
But no, it's also the Jets.
Yeah.
They did score 6 touchdowns. So,
damn, man, it was a high scoring week. I'm going through like Houston 40-20 against Arizona, the Rams 41-34 against Detroit. The Rams just also keep getting away with it. I don't.
Which you got to. Detroit's got an interesting kind of playoff picture right now. If they win this next week against Pittsburgh, they have a 47% chance of being in. If they lose, 13% chance. So that's some interesting NFC playoff implications. The Rams are the only team in the NFC to have currently clinched a playoff spot. So that was a big game for the Rams to pick up.
The Broncos are the only ones in the AFC, I believe.
Yeah, there's only 2 teams that have clinched playoffs right now. The Broncos in the AFC and the Rams in the NFC. And then I was talking about another huge playoff implication matchup. Indianapolis Colts barely losing at 40. Hey, shout out a 44-year-old Phillip Rivers for actually playing a pretty decent game against one of the better defenses in the NFL, the Seattle Seahawks. But the Seahawks did come out on top 18-6.
That's classic vet unk. You just come in and do enough to not lose the game.
Yeah. I say, are we really going to call it a decent game when we had 120 yards passing and an interception?
For a man that
and a touchdown
hasn't played in 5 years and is 44 years old, he looked okay.
Do you guys know why it's been that long? Have you looked into this?
I have not.
So after
the insurance,
your family's covered by the NFL insurance for 5 years after you retire. And he has like 11 kids. So like on top of the salary, that's major savings on the insurance front.
He's just playing smart, man. He just knows.
So he'll be back again in 2020, in 2030.
Exactly. I was like, can you imagine? That'd be so fun watching an Indianapolis Colts playoff run with Phillip Rivers trying to take it.
I want whoever's on that. Whatever Colts fan is smoking that, I want.
Come on. And then I got to talk about, I believe this was the game that sealed it for the Dallas Cowboys officially.
No.
No, they're not. They're barely on the bubble. If they
went out and the Eagles lose out, they're in.
But the Minnesota Vikings did win 34-26 over the Dallas Cowboys.
J.J. McCarthy grittied. Schottenheimer, throw him into the sun. There was some real questionable play calling. Really kind of upsetting.
Underutilization of George Pickens in the last few weeks, I would also argue.
He's also looking kind of lazy.
I was going to say, is that a George Pickens problem, or is that because CeeDee Lamb is back and they don't need George Pickens?
But like, why not use both of them?
because George Pickens doesn't care because he's not the number one anymore.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair point. And then
couple of ass beatings. The Bears beat the Browns 31-3. It wasn't that close. The Browns are really bad.
Miles Garrett's going to set the sack record, though, probably.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Eagles beat the Raiders 31-0. It was just if you watch,
Pete Carroll's going to get fired. Pete Carroll's gone this year. How do you keep him after how bad the Raiders have looked this year?
If you spent 3.5 hours watching this game from either side, you need serious help.
And then that attended the game, man.
Yeah, gross.
And why?
I don't know.
And then have we covered the game that we need to talk about the most?
We don't have to.
The Carolina Panthers did fall to the New Orleans Saints after a pretty good season for the Panthers so far, 20-17. The Panthers need to win this next week to stay in the playoff.
You have to win 2 out of the last 3, and you have Bucks, Seahawks, Bucks.
How you feeling, Robbie?
So
you dropped this one. This is the one you dropped?
I think Canales only has 1 testicle because every other week he just doesn't bring it with him. Like, the play calling is so fucking conservative. I don't get it. Like, you see Bryce Young do these great things against the Rams. He played really well against the Falcons. All of these things. And then the next week you're like, we're going to run. The whole offense is going to be comeback routes the entire week. So all we're going to do is run comeback routes. Like, it's just so fucking soft. I don't get it. You beat the Saints one of the 2 times. You get swept by the fucking 4-10 Saints. You win one of those. And all you have to do is beat the Buccaneers once out of the next 3 weeks. If the Panthers had won that game, then the Seahawks game in 2 weeks doesn't matter at all. You don't even have to play that game. Like, you could have rested starters even if you lose to the Bucks this week. Yeah. You can't beat the Saints once.
Swept by the Saints. Really?
Yeah, that's tough.
See, that's classic NFC South, though. Like, that's just classic NFC South.
And then the last game we'll talk about from this past week, the Monday night game, the game that has solidified the fact that Tua is now not the starter anymore in Miami. Quinn Ewers has officially been named the starter in Miami after the loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers, 28-15. Yeah, Miami, man. I mean, they've got talent, but it's just speaking of coaches that are going to get fired, McDaniel surely is immediately gone after the season ends. So,
Question on the Quinn Ewers front. The Dolphins have Zach Wilson. If this season's chalked, why are we throwing Ewers out there? He is not ready.
Rookie.
I don't think that dude's ready.
Here's the other question. Are we sure that the Dolphins' problems are Tua Tagovailoa?
No.
Like, I'm not saying Tua's playing great.
Mike McDaniels is a dead man walking.
But I don't think that's their problem. Like, is Tua helping? Maybe not. But, I don't think that's the reason that the Dolphins are losing games currently.
But, I mean,
also, you're coming off a 4-game winning streak. They just won 4 games in a row.
Yeah, I guess to the point though,
quarterback. I don't know,
because they're officially eliminated from playoff contention. Like that typically is traditionally when NFL teams try to give their rookies a shot at the end of the year. So just to see what they have. I mean, they're playing the Bengals. It's not like
it's a great game to put yours in for.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going to put them up against
no pass rush, secondary. Yeah, like Tua had a 113 passer rating against the Steelers.
Right. So why
22 for 28 with 2 tutties? Like that's we're benching him.
I don't, and he doesn't have Tyreek.
Yes,
you have Jalen Waddle and whom? Greg
Waller.
Yeah, what are you talking about? I don't get it. Like Washington, he's a great returner. He's not a great receiver.
Achad's going to get 30 carries against the Cincy defense. Yours is going to be an absolute handoff version.
You got to get the confidence up. Yeah,
let's get
AJ back there somewhere.
So, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the NFL playoff picture. We're getting into some exciting territory here in terms of divisional games and everything like that. Because one loss and a team's going to be out here.
Are the Saints still technically in it?
No, the Falcons and Saints are both eliminated.
So the only 2 spots that have officially been clinched are in the AFC, the Denver Broncos, and in the NFC, the Los Angeles Rams. At number 2 seeds right now. So the Patriots, 99% chance either way. The Chicago Bears, if they win, 95% chance. If they lose, 60% chance against Green Bay, because that makes the division, a little more interesting there. And that's kind of, ubiquitous amongst a lot of the divisions, like the Bucks. If they win, 95% chance, but if they lose to the Panthers, 58% chance to get in. The Steelers, 76% if they win against Detroit, 55% if they lose against Detroit. Like, there's some really interesting stuff in terms of divisional play here. That will kind of determine what the playoffs end up looking like. The Ravens, I think, are one of the most interesting swings, because if they win, they have a 48% chance. If they lose, they have a 27% chance. So definitely. And then the Panthers, I think, is the biggest spread. If they win, 42% chance. If they lose, 5% chance to make the playoffs. So
yeah, you have to beat the Seahawks and Bucks back to back, which feels pretty unlikely.
And then do you need help? Do the Bucks have to lose a game, drop a game too?
No, I don't think so. The Bucks might have to lose to the Dolphins, actually.
Yeah, I think they have to drop a game.
I think they have to lose to the Dolphins. Well, they'd have to lose their last 2 because they'd have to lose to us. So
yes.
If you lose this weekend, you have to win both. The Bucks have to lose both.
And then a team that is almost eliminated, but I guess mathematically not quite yet. The Cowboys have a 2% chance if they win, and a less than 1% chance if they lose against the Chargers.
How are they still? I thought they had to
know.
win out, and the Eagles had to lose out. I don't know how there's any room for error there. That's crazy.
Still probably in the wild card too, because the Packers only have 9 wins, and the tiebreaker you guys tied. So the tiebreakers probably get weird after that.
Yeah,
no idea. It's not happening.
No, not at all. Not even a little bit. Super Bowl is going to be in the San Francisco Bay Area this year, so we'll see. We'll probably see a California team. It's just that'd be kind of fun to see the Rams there or the Niners there or anything like that. So yeah, we're going to move into looking at this next week of the match, and we've kind of covered a lot of it, but I'll just go over some of the marquee matchups from this next week. Obviously, we're talking about the Carolina Panthers needing to win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We have where's the other one I was looking at? Jacksonville and Denver. Obviously, Denver's already clinched, but Jacksonville is trying to solidify their playoff position. Pittsburgh and Detroit is a huge game in terms of playoff implications. We have New England and Baltimore. Baltimore still trying to make sure that they can get in the playoffs, and then a big one on Monday.
Ravens are favored in that game, by the way. Feels
That's
weird.
a little strange. It's a little strange.
I guess it's a pick 'em because they're at home and they're favored by 3. But
I mean, the Ravens have been playing decent ball in the last. They're what?
Lamar's still just not right. I don't think.
He's a little injured.
They're 6-2 in their last 8. I mean, they've kind of gotten a grip.
Thursday night game, huge implications between the Rams, who've already clinched, but the Seattle Seahawks. We have 2 Saturday slate games. Only one of them really matters playoff wise. The most expensive game of the weekend: the Green Bay Packers visiting the Chicago Bears. Tickets for around $300.
Do the Bears exercise the demons this weekend?
Nope. Not a chance in hell. Go Pack, go.
I don't think so either.
And then the last game of the slate of this weekend is the Monday night game between the San Francisco 49ers and the Indianapolis Colts. Also a big game in terms of playoff implications. So exciting, very, very exciting weekend to watch.
Cheapest game of the week. Falcons go visit the Cardinals.
Yes.
$13 in Glendale if you found yourself there. Absolute stinker of a bird matchup.
The most expensive Panthers ticket I've seen at home in a long time, $94 to go see the Bucs at the Panthers. That's up there.
And I think I know the answer to this. Would you rather see Falcons Cardinals or Jets Saints?
Falcons Cardinals. I think.
I also want to see Falcons just because like the best player on the field is Bijan, and I'd watch that.
Yeah,
like
Jets and Saints.
Does it make me a sicko that I might say Jets Saints?
Why?
Just for New Orleans, maybe.
Yeah.
That's the only reason it would be in New Orleans over Glendale.
Maybe I'm just a big Tyler Shuck guy.
Yeah, you do be shucking it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to talk about the move on from the NFL into the NBA a little bit. Just a quick touch on this. Congratulations to the New York Knicks, who officially won the NBA Cup. The Knicks beat the Spurs at T-Mobile Arena in the single game elimination. They decided the 3rd edition of the league's NBA Cup, joining the Lakers and the Bucks in capturing it. New York did more than snag a marvelous payday for its players, $530K per man, more than double the amount paid to each member of the Spurs. Yeah, I heard a lot of good things in terms of, saw a lot of good things in terms of the Knicks, and a lot of people were giving them a lot of credit because they have such good depth, and that was a big reason that they were able to, win so many of these games. So yeah, shout out to the New York Knicks for winning.
Shout out to the Knicks. The Thunder are fucking annoying, though. Let's talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder. And if you didn't see everything that happened in the semifinal game against the Spurs, Thunder lost their 2nd game of the year. They're 24-2. They were out there fucking hacking the shit out of Victor Wembanyama that entire 4th quarter.
Shocker.
And Alex Caruso walks through the tunnel and is like bitching about the refs. One, you just lost your 2nd game of the year. I really don't know how we're bitching about the refs, especially considering I think they shot like 50 free throws in that game. Mm-hmm. And 2, it wasn't Wembanyama, someone from this, I think it was Castle from the Spurs, literally came out bloody and didn't get a foul call. And we're going to complain about the refs? Are we serious?
Are you surprised the Thunder?
No, I'm not. But it's like the Thunder are speed running villain status when I think being a young, fun team, they could have avoided that. And they're speed running being the team that everyone hates.
Yeah.
They're immediately like 2017 Warriors, like Durant Warriors, immediately villain status already.
Do you hate a team more in the NBA right now, the Oklahoma City Thunder?
I was an early Thunder hater. You were.
I was an SGA hater. Were they your number 1 hated team up until maybe end of last year? Probably not.
Yeah, because they're also divisional. Like the Mavs always had a kind of a rivalry.
Fuck the Clippers.
Yeah, that's fair.
Ryan hates the Clippers.
Fucking retirement home.
Ryan, ever since we lost to them 2 years in a row in the playoffs, Ryan never.
I remember where I was. I was in Louisville. My most depressed I've ever been.
It was bad.
Watch Luka hit a step back on the Black Lives Matter sign.
That was nasty, but that was a crazy buzzer beater. But yeah, so I would agree, Robbie. And there's not a team that's right now because to your point, you want them to be young, likable, they just won a championship.
I feel like beginning of last season, the Thunder were fun to cheer for, but maybe not cheer for, but watch and it's an exciting young core, all of these things, and now it's not so much. Maybe it's because they win. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm just a hater because they win. But
they are playing other NBA teams and have a plus 17 point differential right now. Just want that to be documented.
Well, I would also say, Rob,
Pretty
like,
good, yeah. I mean,
no,
they're
they're very
good.
and
Like,
young. But they only get this core for a couple years. They can't pay all these.
picks.
They can't pay everybody.
They're just gonna reload.
the luxury tax is a fucking myth, dude. Don't let them fool you into thinking the salary caps exist because they
There's no
don't.
salary cap.
You know, with certain owners, probably with the Thunder owner, there's no way he's backing up the Brinks truck for all those dudes.
Well, he said because like people, there's been rumors that Giannis is maybe on the trade block.
Oh God, not
As there is every year, but there's been a lot of smoke. Like, would he go to the Thunder, which is dumb? Like, why would the Thunder trade for Giannis? But like Sam Presti said, like I'm not like we have all these picks, right? They still have so many picks. Like they're not going to run out of picks anytime soon. But he's not going to trade them because he wants to keep building the core up through the draft and not have to pay them. To your point, Ryan, like he said, that way we don't have to hand out these super maxes. If we can hit on a couple of first round picks, we're good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, to your point, talking about like the Thunder as that kind of young upstart team, that's what I thought. And granted, they're obviously a little bit older, but that's what before Halliburton blew out his Achilles, that's what I thought the Pacers kind of were last year. I was like, I wanted the Pacers to be that team because I liked those guys a lot more. I thought they were a lot more kind of keep to themselves and play. But yeah,
Thunder are plus 110 to win the.
They are ridiculous,
crazy.
Not
for championship odds. That's crazy.
Yes, that's crazy.
This early in the season, yeah.
Yeah. So another thing on the NBA All-Star voting officially started today, officially underway. So you can get your votes in there. But I did want to remind people that there's been, say again,
is saying circle jerk, but
did want to remind everybody that there is a new All-Star format, as there is almost every year, which is, whatever. But so basically, to let you guys know what it is, it's a new U.S. versus world format for the 2026 NBA All-Star Game. 2026 NBA All-Star Game, 2 teams of U.S. players and 1 team of international players, known as the World Team, will compete in a round-robin tournament featuring 4 12-minute games. The 3 teams will each have a minimum of 8 players. I'm trying to see if anything else specifically. In the round-robin tournament, Team A will play Team B in Game 1. The winning team from Game 1 will take on Team C in Game 2, followed by the losing team of Game 1, meaning Team C in Game 3. So if you followed that, I think it makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
You got it. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, I'm locked in.
I think it'll be just as clear when we don't watch it, but I don't know. I really want the NBA to like find something that works and stick with it. But I mean, I don't know how that comes around unless you offer pretty big incentives for players to actually, play. But we will see. And yeah, we will a few things to go over from a college football perspective before we bring the guests on, because we'll go over the CFP stuff. But let's review kind of the conference championship weekend. There were some interesting results here, gentlemen. Is there a certain game you wanna address first? Is there one that you don't want to address first?
I think we started in the Big 12. That's
in the Big 12?
Chronologically, that was
Sure.
how the first one.
I think that's fair. So to nobody's surprise in terms of this podcast, the Texas Tech Red Raiders did handedly beat the BYU Cougars 34-7. Kind of a belt to ass, kind of a repeat of their matchup earlier in the regular season. I know we had said, obviously a big thing in college football, it's hard to beat a good team twice. Unfortunately, Texas Tech is a great team, and BYU is a good team. So Texas Tech did just
is BYU a good team?
Business. I think they're good, but
based on
Robbie's not a believer.
I mean, I wasn't either. I've been a BYU hater the whole year.
Against Georgia Tech. We'll find out.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
But
I agree with that. But yeah, I mean, really not much to say there in terms like Texas Tech just handled the whole game, was just kind of theirs, and there really wasn't much of a championship there. So, gentlemen, we have to talk about it. I'm sorry to bring it up and twist the knife, but the Georgia Bulldogs are your SEC champions. They beat Alabama in a final score of 28-7. What do you guys want to talk about here?
Saw it coming a mile away. Unfortunately,
I was wrong. But I mean, we are just not playing good football right now. It's really just that simple. We're really not.
Since the Oklahoma loss. Since LSU?
No, since Oklahoma broke us. I don't know what happened, but that game broke our spirit. You hear a lot of people, for real. You hear a lot of people talking about -3 rushing yards. That's a tough stat to get past. Now it's not like we ran the ball a whole lot, but what does that say about your team that I think if you exclude Ty Simpson's sacks, I think we had 9 rushing attempts,
which is unexcusable.
It is
truly like you're not down by that much. You don't have to go straight to the air. I mean, I don't give your quarterback something to work off of.
And it's it's one of those things that we can't run the ball. Ty Simpson has not completed a deep pass all year. It doesn't feel like has not completed anything 30 plus downfield. So if you're a defense, you just sit in that like 10 to 30 yard range, put fucking 8 guys back there because you can rush the passer with 3 too. It doesn't fucking matter. You just sit in your zone and we can't do anything. The play calling is not. They get either too cute or they don't try anything at all. And there's no in between. Like there's nothing interesting in our play calling to me, but.
Ryan Williams tricked everybody. He
Ryan
doesn't
Williams.
exist. He's just not in the game plan.
I think he's gone this offseason.
He has to be.
Because I think we're paying him too much and we're not going to want to pay him that much. He's going to go somewhere else to get paid.
He's got bricks for hands.
Wow.
Kind of has the yips, low key.
He's electric with the ball in his hands, but he's not
a
great receiver. I don't think the routes are great. His hands are terrible.
I'm looking at some of these stats from this game. We only were called for 1 penalty. Like we can't blame the refs, right?
No, definitely couldn't. There's nothing about the refs in that game.
They were 3 for 14 on 3rd down. Only turned the ball over once. I mean, like these are we just shot ourselves in the foot.
It was an uninspiring offensive showing. The defense honestly played great. Like the situations the defense got put in with the blocked punt.
Oh yeah,
the turnovers and the going forward on 4th and 11 from our own 13. The defense played phenomenal. We basically we spotted Georgia 21 points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's the same thing that happened with OU. It's this, like the defense is playing phenomenal. The offense is not there though.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, from that somber note, let's put a smile on your face because let's talk about the ACC. Robbie Bergstone, I got to give you the credit, my man. The Blue Devils beating the Virginia Cavaliers 27-20 in a 4th and goal touchdown in overtime to win the ACC and a 7 or 8 win Duke.
8-5. Give them some respect.
Well, they had 7 wins going into the championship. Regular season, 7-win team coming in and winning the ACC. Man, you saw it coming.
In the most ACC fashion of all time. I mean,
it's not. It's the Pac-12. It's the Pac-12 and ACC have combined for shenanigans.
We did not understand the power of combining coastal chaos with Pac-12 after dark, and this is what we end up with. We as a species were not prepared for that outcome.
We get no ACC conference winner.
So all the props to Duke. Obviously, they won all the tiebreakers to get there. I don't know if you guys have seen the ACC schedule the next couple of years. It's a fucking dumpster fire. Like some of them are playing 9 games, some are playing 8. It's a weird thing. But I've been workshopping an idea, and I want to get your guys' take on it.
Okay.
So, and we'll get to the playoff committee, and this kind of ties into the conversation about the playoff committee. But when you have these mega conferences of 16 teams, we've had this for about 2 years now. Every year, there's some just ridiculous tiebreaker shit going on, which is why 7-5 Duke is in the ACC championship. If you were the commissioner of the ACC, why would you not want the tiebreaker to be the highest ranked college football playoff teams get into your conference championship game? For example, in this case, you would have had Miami and Virginia in the ACC championship game. You're guaranteed, obviously it works out, they get a team in, but in that case, you're guaranteed to get a playoff team in. The SEC, you would have had Georgia, and I think Ole Miss was ranked higher than A&M at the time. Those teams are locked for the playoffs. So it doesn't really matter. You're getting those teams in the playoffs anyways. If you don't want your conference champion loser getting knocked out, why not make that your tiebreaker? It already matters because it's who gets in the playoff and who doesn't.
I think that's interesting. I just don't. I don't know.
Fans would complain. I'd probably complain. But if I'm a commissioner of a conference,
sure,
I would use it as a tiebreaker.
I get it. That does make sense. It's just, I don't know. It's obviously you got to rope in, like, does the committee consider, I don't know. I think you have to, there's so many different kind of moving parts to it in terms of like who considers
the committee
what.
Deciding conference championship games based off of rankings.
But don't we want the conference championship games to basically be playoff play-in games? Like, at this point, and where we're at, well, playoff, that's what they should be. It's like, why would we not let the committee choose that when they're already choosing the playoff games?
Like if Alabama had been knocked out, and obviously we've talked about this like in person, if Alabama is knocked out after losing to Georgia, then
I think he's canceling the game.
you're never playing the SEC championship game if you're on the bubble.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything for you.
Yeah, I think it's fair. I think it's a fair point. But yeah, to talk about the last of the Power 4 matchups, huge shout out. Once again, Robbie knows more ball than us, Ryan, and we just
Ryan
got.
and I actually picked the same amount of games, right? But I got the upsets because I'm not a baby back bitch and picked only favorites, so we won't go there.
Did I really pick only favorites?
Tough.
Yes.
I think I got like 3 of them wrong.
Whack.
But yeah, Indiana did take down number 1 Ohio State 13-10, sealing their first title since 1967. And a stat they showed on the broadcast, in the history, Ohio State has the second most wins in terms of, I think, Power 4 conferences, and Indiana's football program has the second most losses of all time in their football program. And so huge win. I think I can't even remember what the record was, but obviously Ohio State, it's like a 99% win clip against Indiana. Huge win for Indiana.
If you had told me 3 years ago that Indiana
2 years ago
would be a number 1 seed in the college football playoff with a Heisman Trophy winner, I would have had you committed.
I don't think you can give Kurt Signetti enough flowers for what he's done.
No.
Would you take any other coach other than Kirk Signetti right now?
How much could you want to get paid?
Exactly.
I mean, pay the man everything.
Yeah. Like,
it's unbelievable.
To Connor's point, Indiana has never had a good college football program ever.
No.
And we've made the college football playoff 2 times in a row.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Now we're the number 1 team in the nation. We beat Ohio State in a Big 10 championship game and won a Heisman. How,
he's 24-2.
A weak Heisman.
24-2.
Not a great Heisman.
Yeah,
but they still undefeated. Undefeated.
His head coaching record in terms of everywhere that he's been at, 143-37.
No, he's him. It's
he's actually
if any doubts that were cast based on where he coached at, gone. He's
technically from the Nick Saban tree.
He is 2007, part of Saban's inaugural coaching staff. Yep. That is as a wide receivers coach.
Classic.
It all goes back to Saban.
I think, and I'll say this confidently: if Indiana wins the college football playoff this year, it is the best head coaching job we've seen in the history of college football. I feel very comfortable saying that.
I'm not informed enough about some of the older stuff, but
year 2 at Indiana,
that is
crazy. If you go win a national championship game and go undefeated, I don't know how you could even debate that.
Yeah. There's a great line in his Wikipedia where it talks about him being hired at 2024, and it said shortly after his hiring, he drew media attention for his confident remark telling reporters, "I win, Google me." When asked about his
the Google me is hilarious. Yeah, it's a fucking bar.
Where's the lie?
Google me.
He wins. I forgot they lost to Notre Dame last year. That's right. I forgot about that in the first round. Tough loss. But yeah, I mean, and then also to talk about one of the ones that we also predicted and covered, Tulane in the AAC championship beat North Texas 34-21, kicking Eric Morris in the butt on the way out to Oklahoma State. That's whose pick was Tulane for the CFP?
That'd be Ryan Doyle.
He's right there. There we
go. Dude, I'm going through Indiana. I'm still on this. I'm going through Indiana's record.
Mm-hmm.
Before Signetti, they had 1 winning season from 2023 to 1993.
Damn.
And that 1 winning season was a 7-6 season at the beginning of the Bill Lynch era.
They never won more than 9 games before Kirk Signetti got there. They never won double digits.
That's actually
that
absurd.
Is unbelievable.
It's crazy.
That's kind of insane.
I mean, yeah, I want them to win it all. I truly want nothing more than Indiana to win it all.
That would be cool. But yeah, so to keep us moving here, we're going to shout out to, speaking of what Ryan just addressed, shout out to Indiana quarterback Fernando Mendoza for winning the Heisman Trophy. Pretty pretty far and away was the favorite. He had 643 first place votes, and second place was Vanderbilt quarterback Diego Pavia, who finished with 189 first place votes.
That's all I have to say about Diego Pavia.
And the third place was Notre Dame running back Jeremiah Love, 46 first place votes. I would have liked to see Love getting a little more love, but I understand it's a quarterback award. Fourth place was Ohio State quarterback Julian Sayin with 8 first place
That
votes.
should have been Jeremiah Smith, and we all know it. Can we all be honest about that? That should have been Jeremiah Smith at fourth.
Hey, but I will say I do like seeing a defensive player, Texas Tech linebacker Jacob Rodriguez at 5th place voting with 17 first place votes. I think that's cool. I think it's cool they're giving some of the flowers. But yeah, so Haynes King down there at number 10. So
Diego Pavia. Are we going to touch that with the 10-foot pole right now, or are we just going to...
He's such a piece of shit. It's just, you can just put it that simply. He is, I don't think, a good person. He's a pretty good college quarterback, but he's also 4 years older than most of the guys he's playing against. Does that really mean anything? Probably not. And he's going to look real great at Albuquerque Chevrolet next year.
Damn, Albuquerque getting him?
That's where he's from. He's from New Mexico, so he's going back home, Albuquerque.
Who drafts him?
The Jets.
Yeah, real. Actually real.
No way you don't. There's no way that guy starts over Tyrod Taylor. I refuse to believe it.
Does that guy start over Justin Fields?
No.
I actually don't think so.
Brother, he's just plays like Justin Fields, just slower.
Did you see the pictures of all the Heisman candidates together, and Pavia's listed at 6 foot? He's very clearly 5'9" at best. He's
hey, it's me.
Shorter. Mendoza's a half a foot taller than Diego Pavia.
Yeah. Especially it's just such a bad look, especially because Mendoza is such a nice guy.
Yeah, his
he's
speech
so
was
positive. He's so nice. It's just how salty do you have?
If you don't know what we're talking about, Pavia did 2 bad things after the Heisman ceremony. First was Instagram stories saying F the voters, which is a crazy thing to put on Instagram. And then there's
second place.
Got second place, right. And then the thing later was that he was at the club with I think OnlyFans girls basically, and had a sign brought to his section of the club that said F Indiana, Indiana did anything personally to Diego Pavia.
Yeah. Literally, what was he supposed to do? to give him the trophy on stage?
Actually, I don't deserve this. It should go to my friend.
Yeah. My friend Diego.
My close friend who's been so respectful.
Yeah, right.
So let's talk about the selections in terms of what the college football playoff actually looks like. We're going to talk about all of the matchups. So right now, we're going to talk about the teams that were left out, and then we're going to talk about some happenings in a bowl rejection world, which is going to get to an interesting point. But let's talk about what the lineup is right now for the first round of the college football playoff. We have number 12 seeded James Madison against number 5 seeded Oregon. So shout out JMU.
Duke won for the Dukes, man. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's a good point. We have number 9, the Alabama Crimson Tide against number 8, the Oklahoma Sooners. If you lose again,
it's my nightmare, dude. It's
I'm gonna
fucking
freak
nightmare.
out.
We're going to lose again. I don't think you understand.
Alabama being the most controversial.
We're uninspired.
I might be getting my stomach pumped on Friday night if we lose. Just throwing that out there.
We have number 11 Tulane against number 6 Ole Miss, and I will say,
game is Friday night. Oh no!
Oh, you didn't realize we had the Friday night game? Oh yeah, brother. We're 2 days away from Alabama football.
Kylie was out of town Saturday, and I was like, oh, I can drink my sorrows. This is gonna be.
It has to be early.
I'm supposed to designate drive for my girlfriend that night, so
I don't know if you can. I don't know.
Luckily, I think she'll be home by 8:15.
Okay.
I think we'll be okay. But
I will also, and I know we'll cover more as we go in depth with these games. Tulane and Ole Miss, and granted, I agree that Ole Miss is a better team. The spread, Robbie, 17.5. Ole Miss is favorable. That's a little disrespectful, isn't it?
What's Vegas up to?
That's a little interesting. And then the last matchup in the first round, and then we'll get on to the teams with a bye, is the Miami Hurricane, number 10, against number 7 ranked Texas A&M.
This is the game I'm most excited for in the first round. That's all I'll say about it. But
look at a couple of these teams in conferences. Nice to see them here.
Yeah. And then the from top down, in terms of the teams that have a bye and will play in the second round, number 1, Indiana Hoosiers after their huge win against Ohio State. We have the number 2, Ohio State Buckeyes. Number 3, the Georgia Bulldogs after their SEC championship win. And number 4, Texas Tech Red Raiders after their Big 12 championship win. Yeah, so the winner of James Madison and Oregon play Texas Tech, winner of Alabama and Oklahoma play Indiana, winner of Tulane and Ole Miss play Georgia, winner of Miami and Texas A&M play Ohio State, and we will go from there. But speaking of, so just went through all the seeds there. Bit of controversy, as there always is with the selection and the college football playoff selection. Alabama probably being the most disputed selection from the committee. A lot of people thought it should have been Notre Dame. A lot of people, were advocating for different teams, and thus started a trend, I guess, similar to the college coach departures this year. Started a trend of bowl rejections this year. Notre Dame famously declining its invitation to the Pop-Tart Bowl this weekend after being omitted from the 12-team college football playoff. But so did 8-4 Iowa State and 6-6 Kansas State. And to replace those teams and complete the full field, some teams that went 5-7 were invited, but then other 5-7 teams declined as well, including Florida State, Auburn, Kansas, Baylor, Rutgers, and UCF. Wow, this is not good. This is like really concerning me. Bad. That all these teams are just rejecting to play bowl games. I mean, this is like, where does everything stop? Like, where do we set the rules and regulations for the money? And like, I don't know.
So what are the reasons for the 5-7 teams rejecting bowl games?
I think a lot of that has to do with, by the time you get your bowl invite, fall semester's over.
Yep.
And you're assuming at 5-7 that I'm not making a bowl game. So I've probably already gone home for the holidays, and I'm not at school still getting ready to go play a bowl game. So like, your roster is not even on campus, right? I mean, I think that's a big part of it. I think that's something for the 5-7 teams is being overlooked.
I'm also curious on how big of a part the transfer portal is playing, because on a couple of these 5-7 teams that you named, you got to think some of those guys are looking elsewhere and might just sit out the game so they don't get potentially hurt in a meaningless game.
And that's definitely got to be the point for Iowa State, with Matt Campbell leaving and going to Penn State. Like, they're not going to play in a bowl game because probably half their players are following him to Penn State with the transfer portal.
Yeah. So, and there's a really good point by Matt Brown here, who writes a college sports newsletter called Extra Point, where he says, the dirty little secret is these games often lose money for the schools. Lower tier bowl games require schools to buy a certain number of tickets. And if you're a Power 4 team and you're 6-6 or 5-7, your fans are not going to be as excited about buying ticket packages to go watch you play Central Michigan. There's also the fact that the calendar itself has significantly changed. And
what's Central Michigan? Like, what
straight is Central Michigan. Yeah, I know. Kind of, what? True. And he also talked about how, especially from Power 4 conferences, if you go 5-7, there's most likely going to be significant turnover on rosters and coaching staffs and everything like that. So it doesn't make sense for those, but like Notre Dame, come on. So
let's talk about
that's
Notre
the real
Dame.
story.
Let's talk about Notre Dame. Let's rewind and talk about the college football playoff selections, because I think this is an important thing to talk about. And like we mentioned, we're gonna talk about before, and then we'll just do the picks with James and Jude. Yeah. Otherwise, you're gonna hear 5 dudes yelling at each other about the college football playoff for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm an Alabama fan, so take this with a grain of salt. But they got it right, and not because Alabama's in. The reason that the committee got this right is that they're saying that what happens on the field of play and who you play matters. People want to get all upset that, we should never schedule hard out of conference games. We should schedule cupcakes, lose 2 conference games, and get in. It's not the case of what happened here. Miami scheduled Notre Dame, beat them, and got in the college football playoff because they beat Notre Dame. Alabama won games on the field and had 3 wins better than any win Notre Dame had. So they're saying what happens on the field matters. And I think that's why they got it right. If you want to see these good out-of-conference games, which I don't know about you guys, those are some of the more fun games to watch. Like seeing Texas go to the Horseshoe. Or seeing, all of these, like Notre Dame go to Miami and then play A&M, which, like, again, those are 2 games they played this year that mattered, and they lost both of them. Like, those games are important. And I think that's what the committee did here. I walked away from the Alabama game thinking we shouldn't be in the playoff. We don't look like a playoff team. But I think if you're talking about what you did during the season, they're making the point that does matter, and it should.
Counterpoint, you guys lost to Florida State.
So true.
And
Notre
Florida
Dame
State
doesn't have a
is-
loss that bad.
And Florida State is better than over half of Notre Dame's schedule.
Notre Dame doesn't have a conference.
Yeah,
Join
I mean,
a
it's
fucking
always
conference.
That's
I don't
always
get
the argument against them. It's that you're not in a conference. Like, so why should you have?
There's
stuff
no
like-
rules, and then they have the whole agreement of being what is that whole like thing in their contract?
If they're ranked top 12 next year, they automatically make the playoff.
Really?
Yeah, that's why they're getting so much
What is
hate.
that?
That's the
I
thing.
didn't
Notre
know
Dame, like
that.
everyone, like when there was rankings came out, everyone's like Notre Dame got screwed and all those things. And then they've just acted like fucking assholes since then, and now no one feels bad for them.
Well, now they got. That's so annoying that
They're
they
so
just, like,
entitled.
that's crazy that they just got their way. That's wild.
Yep. And then that was done before this playoff cycle. Like
Yes.
that didn't just happen. That happened last year.
Okay. I was not aware of that.
But Notre Dame, congrats on being number 13 next year for the college football playoff rankings. Fucking bozos.
Yeah, they might. They might
L
actually do that.
dance.
too.
That's the
Infinite
thing.
L dance.
And here's the thing too, right? So when you make the college football playoff and you're in a conference, you get a payout, but that money is split between all of your conference mates.
Mhm.
When Notre Dame gets a payout for making the college football playoff, they get to keep all of it.
Yeah. Wow.
And guess who is on the college football playoff committee other than athletic directors that are part of conferences that get money from making the college football playoff? Not saying it's a conspiracy. I'm just saying if I'm Notre Dame, I'd want to take that out of the equation. Just saying.
Interesting things to talk about.
But I mean, in terms of everything that we needed to cover, I think that wraps it up. I think we are going to head over to talk to James and Jude to go over the college football playoff and their predictions, and you'll hear a little bit from us, but it's kind of going to be focused on them and their picks, and we'll kind of give our thoughts that we'll interject here and there. But yeah, we will switch it over, and I'll let y'all know. So give us 1 second.
Welcome to the second segment of the podcast. If you're a frequent listener, all 5 of you out there, you know that we've had both these guys on during this college football season to talk sports and pick college football games. Well, they tied in the most un-American way possible. They had the exact same record in the guest pick'em, so they both get to come back on for our final pick'em of the year in college football, being the college football playoff. So welcome back, James and Jude. Anyone have any initial thoughts they want to give out, or just happy to be here?
I pulled a Ryan. I'm not prepared at all. Literally.
Excellent.
I
Yeah.
found-
Under
And
the
then,
bus.
and then James pulled a me, and he's so prepared. I already know this.
Super prepared. I've listened
Yeah.
to every podcast since I was the first to actually have a record, just to make sure I stay on the top.
Facts.
Yeah,
That's
baby,
and that's
it
a
is.
great. That's a great thing. So we got to talk about some controversy and the fact that Robbie can't count. Before we jump into this.
Okay.
So if you've been listening, you know that Ryan, Connor, and I pick games every week that we record a podcast, which we've been very consistent this year. More than usual. We've picked every single slate of games since week 4.
There you go.
Impressive.
That's better.
Shout
than
out
normal.
us.
I
So
have
in total,
no social life.
real. It's called having a job. And so in total, we picked 60 games, and in each of those weeks, we picked a Superdog. Going into conference championship week, I had incorrectly said that Ryan and I are tied. That was not the case headed into college football championship Saturday. And the reason this is a controversy is because the mistake benefits myself and not Ryan.
This is sus. This is, I don't know about this.
I have a whole Excel sheet if you guys want to look at it. I built it.
I'm good. I believe you now.
There's one night I couldn't sleep, and I was like, I'm going to drink some beer and build an Excel sheet. So I have one. So going into conference championship week, I was actually up a point. So I'll tell you guys the full standing. So I had 47 points. Ryan had 46, and Connor had 41.
Embarrassing.
If you're curious about our overall records heading into conference championship week, I was 38-22. Ryan was 33-27.
But
Connor
all the
was-
dogs.
Connor was 30-30. Right on the
Oh,
Ryan was our Superdog champ. 13 points from Superdogs. Connor had
Dang.
11 points from Superdogs,
Okay.
and I had 9. I was in last on the Superdogs. So, conference championship week came around. Ryan and I each got 3 of the conference championship picks correct. We both went 3-2. Connor only got 1.
yeah, it was
Didn't-
bad. It
And
was a
then
bad
also
month.
picked the Falcons as a Superdog, and they lost 37-9.
Connor, you
That's
have a
not great.
negative record? Under
I don't,
500?
I don't really want to talk about it, but we can
Tough.
if you want to.
It's not great.
Yeah, let's ignore that. Let's
so
focus
what-
on YouTube.
What game did you go back and count incorrectly.
I couldn't figure that out. that's because the way I was keeping track of this previously. Yeah.
BAR?
Yeah, we're gonna need to go.
So the reason that I was just doing it in the notes app previously, and I was just summing it up in my head. So I'm just assuming that I did math wrong at some point, which is extremely possible. I'm in engineering. That happens.
Yeah.
Don't trust engineers. But anyways, so the total on the year, because Ryan actually did win his Superdog in the NFL the last time we recorded, Ryan is up a point right now. He has 52 points. I have 51 points because I got 3 right, and I got my Superdog covered. And then Connor's at 42 and doesn't matter. So Ryan's still up a point. So if everyone's okay with it, Ryan's still in the lead as he should be. It's just one less point than it should have.
I think I'm all good.
Previously was. So
I think we're good.
So with all that being said, we're headed into this week with a 1 point difference. And the way that this college football pick'em is going to work, so we're going to pick the whole bracket. Their first round games will be worth 1 point. Second round games worth 2 points. Semifinals worth 3 points, and the college football playoff final worth 4 points. So we'll go through each game. We each give a pick. We'll basically have a bracket challenge here, and then we each give a super dog in a bowl game, not related to college football playoff, in case we need the tiebreaker. So we will start off at the top of the bracket, and Connor, if I'm not mistaken, that is James Madison visiting the Oregon Ducks as 21.5-point favorites last time I checked the spread.
I believe that is correct.
It's 21. I think ESPN
21.
has it.
Yes, 21 currently. It opened at 21.5. It is currently 21. Yes, so that is
He's
correct.
moving on the Dukes.
That is correct. Who do you want to start out, Robbie?
Let's go to our guests first.
Okay.
Who wants to go first, James or Jude?
I think James is more prepped than Jude is.
James is first alphabetically, so James gets to go
100%.
first.
There we go. Yeah, JA. There it is.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think it's an easy one to pick. No upsets here. Oregon.
Yeah. Straight to
Straight to the point. I love it.
I believe it. I believe it, Jude.
Not so fat. No, it's Oregon. It's Oregon.
And then also, you want us to pick two, Robbie? So all three of us also. All right, Ryan, you want to go first?
I want to pick James.
No, you don't.
You do. You want to, but you know that you can't.
I can. It's the Ducks, especially at home, man. This is going to be a tough place for JMU to travel to.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with the guys that preceded me. I'm also going with the Oregon Ducks. I think their offense is a little too high powered. Unfortunately, James Madison hasn't faced anything close to Oregon this year, so unfortunately, I think they're going to be hit in the mouth a little bit here in Oregon.
I got the Ducks, but the Dukes cover.
Okay, we cover the 21.
They make a good showing. They stand out for the conference.
17 points. That's where I got it clocked at.
Dude,
See what happens.
He is absolutely that.
Next game up, the first game this weekend that you can watch, the 8 versus 9 matchup. The Alabama Crimson Tide travel to Norman, Oklahoma to try to get revenge on the Oklahoma Sooners.
This is so bad.
James, Ryan and I have already discussed what we will do if we lose to Oklahoma this week. I don't know if you have any thoughts on what you'll do if we were to lose this game.
Yeah, if we were to lose, I'll probably eat 70.5 hot dogs for real.
just
in 1 week.
For the love of the game.
That's something we've never brought up on the podcast. We've been talking about it. We do have the hot dog winner ? Or James does not have to eat the 70.5 hot dogs. That goes to our great sponsor, Zach Choffin, who has to eat all 70.5 hot dogs. So,
and for our fans keeping track, I started 0-6, and I somehow avoided the toilet bowl.
Ryan and I are in the semifinals this week.
And I really hope all my players play because it looks like I'm getting hit with the injury bug at the worst possible time. Anyways, it doesn't matter.
Projected to win. So.
It doesn't matter who wins that league because it was all about avoiding the glizzies.
All right, so we'll go to Jude. Alabama at Oklahoma. Who you got?
It's hard to beat a team, twice in a season.
Yeah, goddamn right.
True.
I am the biggest OU hater of all time.
I can attest.
You can tell.
Yep.
I can attest.
I've said it before on this podcast. I hate them more than anything.
Anything.
It's the Tide all day.
Let's go.
Tide by 100.
Tide favorite.
100.
Tide favorite.
Yeah, which is, I get it, but it's kind of.
I think the line makes sense if you watched the first game.
Yeah.
Right, Tide's favored?
Yep.
Correct.
Like 2.5.
Oh, I see that now. Yeah.
Or maybe 1.5.
It's moved.
What is it now?
OU's favored 1.5.
Yeah. OU
Really?
1.5.
When it opened, I think Tide was tied by 1.5.
Correct.
It's a huge shift.
James, Who we got?
I also give it here to Bama. I don't think we lose 2 revenge games in a row. Being at Oklahoma, I do not think matters. We get it done.
I'm going to agree with both of our guests here. If you watch the first Alabama and Oklahoma game, even if you didn't watch it and you just went and box score looked, Alabama should have won that game.
Yeah.
They win that game 9 out of 10 times, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You win that game 97 out of 100 times. Like, if they play that game over and over again, Alabama wins that game. Nothing has changed. Alabama's probably more healthy than they were for that game. Josh Cuevas should be back this weekend.
Yep.
Missing LT Overton, which hurts, but I just don't know how the Tide doesn't get this one done, even on the road in Norman. So I got the Tide.
Right.
He's going to do it 3 weeks in a row.
I can't pick against them again. I picked Georgia, I picked Auburn, almost went 2 for 2, which would have been just absolutely fucking disgusting.
Yeah, that would have been heinous.
Well, I guess they wouldn't have played Georgia if they lost Auburn. Regardless. Venables has Alabama's number. He's the big, bad, ugly coach against us. This is a legacy game for DeBoer. I think you have to get the monkey off your back here. You cannot lose 3 in a row to a conference newcomer, especially how the last game went. You just have to figure out a way to get it done. And DeBoer's shown that he can win, and I'm expecting him to do that in Norman.
Connor.
No, I can't do it. I can't
We're
stomach it.
We're so screwed.
I know. I don't want to, especially because I think Alabama's offense, and specifically Ty Simpson, has not looked good over the course of the last 3-4 weeks. I think, to Robbie's point, and I know James, Jude, you weren't here for it, but Robbie made some really good points in terms of how well that Alabama's defense has been playing. And, I think 28-7 in that Georgia SEC championship game. I mean, the offense kind of essentially gave Georgia 21 points. Like, they really had nothing to do with the defense. It was just field positioning, everything like that. So I just think that the defense has been playing so well. If the offense just plays competently, I'm not it doesn't need to exceed expectations. If they play competently, I legitimately think they can come out on top here, or at least force it into overtime and win on a field goal or whatever means necessary. But I think that Alabama should be able to pull this one out, but it could be close. It could be really close.
2 points I want to make. Mateer has looked worse than Simpson over the past month.
Yep.
I think Alabama still has a quarterback advantage. The line is 40 points. I think that's too many. I truly think this is going to be like a 17-13 game. Both of these defenses are very good. Alabama's has been hitting their stride. And
one key thing to point out for Oklahoma, too, is that R. Mason Thomas, their best defensive lineman, is expected to play in this game. Did not play in the Alabama game, has not played since. That is concerning, especially with how bad Alabama's been running the ball. He's definitely their best defensive player. So something to keep an eye on. But again, Alabama should have won the first time. I don't see how it changes the second time. Next up, another G5 team in the playoff, Tulane visiting Ole Miss in another rematch, our second straight rematch of a game that happened in the regular season. It's 3:30 on Saturday. Back to James.
So here, I do think Ole Miss has got a little something to prove after the Lane Kiffin switch up. Make sure we can do it after we lost our coach. And I don't know if Pete Golding is the guy, but I do believe the hype surrounding it is going to propel this team over Tulane pretty easily. Ole Miss.
There you go.
Jude.
Yeah, they still have the talent. There's just no way Ole Miss loses.
Connor.
I am going to agree with our guests here. I do think that Ole Miss ends up taking it. I just think obviously they've had some very competitive games this year in terms of, they've played some higher ranked opponents and have looked good in mostly all of those matchups. I think, you talk about the top of the SEC, and Ole Miss is a name that has consistently come up this year and deservedly so. Lane Kiffin departure obviously kind of hurts, but I mean, honestly, like, they're going to have a chip on their shoulder with all the details coming out about Lane Kiffin and how, the players were not happy with the way that he handled his departure. I think they know that they've got something to prove in terms of trying to put up a big middle finger to Lane Kiffin. And I think that's going to come in the form of beating this Tulane team by like 24. I think Ole Miss might thrash Tulane, to be honest.
So you guys, there's been some mentions of chips on shoulders and all of those things. Do you think these players really care about Ole Miss? Like, realistically, Like they're there because now they get paid to be at Ole Miss.
True.
I think they care about their reputation.
Yeah, I think.
But how many of these guys? How many of these guys are following Lane Kiffin LSU next year?
This is a decent. Yeah, I'd be interested to see.
There's already rumors. There was rumors that Trinidad Chambliss was not going to play in this game. Was going to opt out so he could transfer to LSU next year. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's completely outlandish.
Yeah, I mean that would be the craziest precedent.
True.
Crazy. You would have to look at the transfer portal very closely if that happened.
Yeah.
There's a couple Ole Miss players that don't like Lane Kiffin. The first one that comes to mind is Lacey, the running back, really doesn't like Lane Kiffin. Have you seen some of the stuff he posts on social media? I'm concerned about Ole Miss showing up for this game. They're still so much better than Tulane. I don't think it really matters, but I am very, very concerned about the Ole Miss Rebels showing up to play this football game. I'll take them to win, but again, I kind of think Tulane covers 17.5.
Okay. Right. Ryan's thinking about it. He's thinking about it.
Save the graphic. Save the graphic.
Yeah, right now we're talking.
Not so fast.
There you go.
Wow.
It's now early in the season. Tulane got dog walked by Ole Miss. They lost 45-10. It was an ugly game. Tulane has everything to play for in this game. I think most people are not giving them a chance, even with the whole Lane leaving, talent disparity in Oxford, everything. I mean, you talk about all that. I picked Tulane in the preseason to be one of my college football playoff teams. I think this is like one of the best opening round draws they could get, truly, playing Ole Miss.
I'd rather have A&M, but
I think they'll be fired up. I'm really interested to see how this game goes. I 100% think they cover. I hope they win, but I couldn't let us go chalk again. Even if it meant me losing the pick'em for the year, that's a sacrifice I'm willing to take.
That's a real podcaster right there. He pulled on the line for the podcast. We respect that. Next up, probably, Alabama Oklahoma is a good game, but I think this is a really interesting matchup. Miami visiting Texas A&M in College Station, the noon kickoff on Saturday. Let's see, back to Jude.
I do not trust Miami at all. I don't trust them on the road, especially. I think A&M's a lot better than Miami, and I think they win.
James.
I will have to agree. I don't trust Miami one single bit. I don't think they should be involved with anything we got going on right now. Marcel Reed has been a sleeper cell, so I agree. A&M all the way.
Back to Ryan first.
I think Carson Beck has himself a game of his career, but I don't think it's enough to beat this A&M team at home. I think this is where you're really going to see the 12th man come into their own. This is literally what A&M has been fucking waiting for. So that stadium is going to be insane. I think I got to go with the Aggies here, even though they're, they're due to choke. I mean, they're due to absolutely lay an egg, but I don't know if it'll be this game.
Connor.
I think A&M's trip up kind of came in the last game of the regular season against Texas. I have a friend that attends A&M, and he attests to the fact that Marcel Reed, he's a pretty streaky quarterback, or he's been a pretty streaky quarterback over the last few years. I think that he's going to catch a stride here in having this first game, the huge playoff game at home, and I think that's going to provide a lot of momentum for the Aggies. And I think Marcel Reed is going to be on kind of a heater in this first game, so I'm going to take the Aggies to win this one.
Not so fast to all of you.
Whoa, Miami.
You did it.
I'm going to take the Miami Hurricanes, and I was actually going to do that regardless of if all of you picked A&M, so I was glad I can go last and not so fast you. I don't know. I'm not a believer in A&M. And they're not playing, much like Alabama, and I picked Alabama, so maybe I'm contradicting myself, but they're not playing great football right now. Should have lost to South Carolina. Beat Samford, okay. They could probably do that with their eyes closed and their hands behind their back.
Yep.
And then didn't play well against Texas at all.
True.
And I think they've had some games down the stretch where they're actually playing a little bit better teams. Obviously, they beat Notre Dame on the road early in the season. Notre Dame coming off that tough loss. Miami lost a tough one against A&M that really could have gone either way, and there were probably some questionable calls at the end of that game if you watched that one. They went in A&M's favor. I don't have a lot of faith in either of these teams, but for whatever reason, I have a little bit more faith in Carson Beck and Mario Cristobal than I do in Marcel Reed and Elko. So I'm going to take the Hurricanes.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a slight pushback on the should have lost to South Carolina. Obviously, took a massive comeback in the second half. That is some of the best college football I've seen played this year was that second half A&M team, both on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. Like, I haven't seen a college football team play to that level.
Connor, what defense did South Carolina play in the second half?
Yeah, the coming out at the end.
We talk about it every week.
Is terrible, and we know. Yeah, I mean, it's a terrible strategy, but it's just like. But I think you have to give a lot of credit to that defense in that second half. But yes,
but Marcel Reed was seeing ghosts in the first half.
Yes,
and then they stopped coming after.
They needed a break.
Yeah, they stopped coming after him, which was crazy to me. But that's fair. All right, so next up. We have the Orange Bowl, which would be Texas Tech playing the winner of James Madison and Oregon, which in our case, for all of us, is Oregon.
Yep.
Back to James.
Yep, back to me. I really think the fifth best offense in the nation paired with the fifth best defense in the nation gets it done. Texas Tech's Raiders.
Yeah.
Jude.
Yeah, I think Texas Tech does it, and that might be a little Big 12 bias, but I kind of love their team right now. That linebacker Rodriguez, dog,
he's a beast,
dog.
The other linebacker whose name I'm blanking on right now, but he had the 2 interceptions in the Big 12 championship game.
Yes,
blanking on his name. He's also fantastic.
Yes, I think their defense is just. I think they're going to stop Oregon more than people think.
Yep.
And I mean, we know their offense can score, so I think Texas Tech takes this one.
Who is it, Rob?
It's me first, I believe. I also have the Red Raiders. I think if you watch the Big 12 championship game, the offense was pretty uninspiring in that game. But I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that the defense just had BYU in the fucking blender. I mean, I think their quarterback got hurt early. He didn't play well the whole game. The defense was carrying them. Like, they kept getting turnovers and then kicking field goals kind of thing. They didn't do a whole lot. But I think part of that was, okay, we're going to win this game. Let's not show too much. Yeah. So I have some faith that they're going to bounce back here. And I do think that Texas Tech gets it done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the Red Raiders. That defense is crazy. In the last 6 games, they've given up a total of 43 points. They've only given up 20-plus points twice this year, and once was in the loss to Arizona State. Since that loss to Arizona State, this team has looked truly unstoppable. Mm-hmm. They get to go against Oregon, known for that high-powered offense, but I don't want to say a destiny team, but like they have looked just crazy this year.
Mm-hmm.
If you compare Texas Tech this year to Arizona State last year, and keep in mind that Arizona State almost beat Texas last year, this team's a lot better than that Arizona State team, like considerably better.
Yeah, I think you guys made some really good points. I'm also going to go with the Texas Tech Red Raiders for a sweep here. I think it's interesting in terms of neither of these teams have had very good schedules this year. Texas Tech obviously had kind of the weird loss to Arizona State, and Oregon obviously losing to the number 1 team in the country in Indiana, and those are both their only losses on the season. And for the most part, they've taken care of business everywhere else. I think obviously this is far and away each of their respective, other than Oregon with Indiana, like top matchup of the season. And I think this game's actually going to be really close. Like, I think Texas Tech is surprisingly one of the most well-rounded teams in the country, which is a little surprising given kind of the Big 12 conference, I think, from this year. But I think this game could be really close, and I think it could be interesting, but I do think Texas Tech comes out on top.
We've given a lot of flowers to Texas Tech. Oregon's a good team, and Dante Moore has been really good this year, so I agree. I think it's going to be very close. Mm-hmm. I think that's a good call out. In the Rose Bowl, granddaddy of them all, we have the winner of Oklahoma and Alabama.
We all
playing
picked
Indiana.
Alabama.
we all picked Alabama, so Indiana or Alabama. It's back to Jude.
I did not want to pick this first because, dude, I don't know. Indiana's good, but, I mean, you saw the amount of points they put up against, Ohio State's defense. And, yes, their defense played well. Very well.
I think it's a top 5 defense in the country.
I agree, but Alabama coming off a hot win against Oklahoma. They're going to walk into this game and, Ty Simpson's going to throw 3 picks and Indiana's going to win. I mean,
That was
it's just not even. I don't think they stand a chance. Indiana's too good right now. Mendoza's on a roll.
Yeah.
And he's going out to prove Pavia wrong. So
Great fake out.
We
That
talked
was
about
fantastic.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
James.
So looking at it wholesale, unlike my friend Jude, looking at the whole picture and trying to understand each piece moving the way that it should, I sadly think that he's absolutely correct. What a story. What a story it would be for Indiana to come back on the Alabama SEC story program to start a new trend of old school beat 'em up football one more time.
Yeah.
I like Indiana. Take it over story-wise. Mendoza's playing well. It's going to work.
Connor.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pull a bait and switch here. I already was hesitant to call Alabama over Oklahoma, and if I'm that hesitant to call them over Oklahoma, I am absolutely not picking them over what has they have proven themselves as the number 1 team in the country. Mendoza obviously winning the Heisman, obviously big win over Ohio State. Indiana right now it's too perfect, it's too storybook. I don't see the Alabama, Kalen DeBoer led Alabama. Being able to take them down. So I do think Indiana comes out with this one.
I wholeheartedly agree with everything that this group has said so far. This is, if you look at rankings of players in recruiting classes and all of those things, Alabama is obviously more talented than this Indiana team, but there's something to be said about playing together and playing under good coaching and all of those things. And right now, Indiana has that head and shoulders over what Alabama has. It's not a good Alabama team. There's a lot of good Alabama players, but it's not a good Alabama team. And for that reason, I got the Hoosiers.
Everything makes sense for Indiana to win this game, which is why I think it potentially could be a trap.
I see it.
Do I truly believe that it's going to do it? No.
So let me ask you this question. If you'd picked Oklahoma to beat Alabama, would you pick Oklahoma to win this game?
No.
Okay.
It is purely from the fact that Alabama is a streaky team that could get their mojo from beating a team that they've lost twice in a row to.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you show up like BMOC, like, hey, we haven't skipped a beat. And just, I don't know if they're good enough to do that. Like I said, Indiana has looked just so good this entire year. And the entire team is bought in like that. Like there's a cohesive unit that is believing in that coach and coaching staff. And it's going to take an act of God for them to lose. Alabama's seen the Lord a few times.
I never heard anyone say God ain't an Alabama fan. That's all I'm saying.
I'm gonna go with Indiana because I want the Tide to win.
There you go.
I like it.
Yeah. Next game, we have Georgia in the Sugar Bowl playing the winner of Tulane and Ole Miss. So for everyone but Ryan, this is Georgia versus Ole Miss. In a rematch for Ryan, it's Georgia versus Tulane.
Let me go first. Georgia.
Yeah, there you go.
It doesn't matter who they play. Belt to ass. Dog walked.
Jeez.
I have a separate approach. Yes. I really think Ole Miss comes in here and takes Georgia to town. They catch them sleeping.
Whoa.
They've already beaten them once. They don't care. The game was so close last time. Now that we're in the playoffs, I still think opposite of you guys that Ole Miss is going to want to have something to prove against Ole Miss. Believe in your school. Make your stock better. Go out there and beat the Georgia Bulldogs. Ole Miss.
Jude.
I agree with James.
Whoa.
I want to see
y'all
Ole
gotta
Miss.
Someone different from each other. You know that, right? At some point, we have to make something different.
I got them written down.
I thought this one was
crazy.
going to be the difference, dude, but no, he picked Ole Miss. No, I agree, man. I think that their offense is very good, and I agree with them. Coming in there with something to prove, and I don't know if Georgia's ready.
Yep.
I think Georgia's just like another.
You think
championship
Kirby Smart is not going to have?
I was
Georgia ready?
just about to say. That was just about to be
Really?
my point, Robbie. Just about to be my point.
Connor, if you'd let me go, I don't know. I don't know what we're looking at, fellas. I really don't. I've been saying for the last half of the season, I think Georgia's the best team in college football.
And that's
I
not
still,
changing.
I still kind of believe that, especially after they just did a pretty like a good Alabama team. Like they're not bad, they're not great, but like I mean, they went in there and just whooped them. I got Georgia. I didn't even think about this one.
Yeah, I'm not denying the talent levels on both sides of the ball. Obviously, we saw early in the season between Georgia and Ole Miss, Georgia barely pulled it out, 43-35. When it comes to this point in the playoff, and if the talent is the same, I think you have to look at the coaching. And an Ole Miss team that has lost their head coach and is probably in a little bit of disarray right now, going up against the best coach in college football, against Kirby Smart, who has been there before, who has done it a million times, who knows what he needs to do in these situations, who's going to make the right adjustments in the second half. Kirby Smart is the best second half adjustments coach in college football, I think, undisputedly. I think that Georgia pulled this one out.
Next
That's
up,
crazy that y'all both pick. I just didn't
yeah,
expect
that
them
is.
both to
I'm
pick
still
Ole
a little
Miss.
in shock by that. I like it though.
No, yeah.
In the Cotton Bowl, we have Ohio State versus the winner of Texas A&M Miami. So Ohio State versus Texas A&M for everyone but me. I have Ohio State versus Miami. It's back to Jude.
Ohio State is, I mean, belt to ass on whoever it is. There's no, they're coming off at him. It's not embarrassing, to lose to Indiana after the season that they've had, but Ohio State thinks it's embarrassing. And they're just going to come into this game and just, I mean, I don't even think it's going to be close to whoever they play.
I do finally disagree with that.
No.
I think that A&M is going to come into Ohio State. They're not going to think it's anything worth it. They're going to get it done. Marcel Reed, I think, is going to have a game plan. You guys are talking about streaky teams. I think we're going to see A&M become a bit of a streaky team, get hot at the right time, while Ohio State's getting a little cold.
Mm-hmm.
Back to Ryan for first pick of the Bros in the Berg.
Ohio State's embarrassed after losing to Indiana. They're going to spit shine whoever's asshole comes out of that A&M Miami game. I truly believe that. They want revenge against Indiana. Neither of those teams inspire great confidence besides winning one of the opening round games.
Mm-hmm.
Got the Buckeyes.
Yeah, I got Ohio State. I don't see a world where either Miami or A&M do anything against that Ohio State defense. I do think it might be another low scoring one because the Ohio State offense is kind of like, Jeremiah Smith down there somewhere, and he's really fucking good. But
Sure.
I think it could be a little low scoring, but I have the Buckeyes.
Yeah, not so fast. I'm agreeing with my friend James here. I think Marcel Reed, when he gets on a roll, is a scary competitor to have to go and play against. And gentlemen, I don't think the emotion coming out of the Ohio State Indiana game is anger. I think it's shock. I don't think Ohio State ever expected to be like that. I think they're going to come into this game after a bye, be on the back foot, not be prepped. A&M is going to have gotten a little bit of a warm-up against a relatively solid Miami team. I think Marcel Reed and the whole team's going to come in there with a little bit of confidence, and I think they're going to shock the Buckeyes. I really do think that A&M is going to get this one done.
Next up in the Peach Bowl, we have the winners of the Indiana and Texas Tech games, which for all of us would be Indiana versus Texas Tech. Back to James first.
So I'm thinking here that Indiana does meet its match in Texas Tech. Texas Tech takes it.
Nice.
Also would like to go back one pick and say that we're playing in Arlington for Ohio State A&M, by the way.
It's a little scary.
Oh, it's true. Yeah, that is
It's a little
true.
scary.
Thank you. Yeah, good note. Jude, you look stressed over there. Are you, he doesn't.
Dude, I thought he'd go with Indiana because I wanted to take Tech.
You can. Like, you guys differed on the last one.
Dude, I know.
You're off by one right now. It'll be all right.
Yeah.
I know. And, man, I want Texas Tech to go on that TCU run from, 22, 23.
Yeah.
But I don't want to agree with him, so I'm taking Indiana.
There it is.
I respect it.
And it's back to me first. Great pick, Jude.
Thank you.
Ryan talked a little bit about Texas Tech being a team of destiny. This is your team of destiny matchup right here, right?
Yeah.
The Red Raiders and the Hoosiers, two teams who shouldn't be here.
Could be the national championship game. I mean, if
This would be a
things are
fantastic
seeded differently, I mean,
It'd be a great national
sign me
championship
up.
game. If Georgia had lost Alabama, this could be a national championship game for sure. However, I think Indiana has proven, Indiana was good last year, but they were on that cusp of good, not great. This year, I do think Indiana is a great team and is one of the best teams in college football. I think Texas Tech has not really played anyone up to Indiana's standards so far this year. And for that reason, I got the Hoosiers.
Who's next year, Rob?
Either one of you.
I agree with what Robbie said, especially that last sentence. The Indiana has proven themselves against some of the best Big Ten has to offer. And, Texas Tech lost to Arizona State. And like I said, they have proven that their defense is legit. I mean, it's not like they're, playing group of 5 or like FCS teams over in the Big 12. Like their defense is legit. I don't know if they can score enough points against Indiana to beat them here. I have the Hoosiers. This is probably the game I'm most excited for if it gets to this point.
You love seeing two teams that you never get to see, play in a game that matters as much. That's fun.
Like 2 teams from 2 years ago, you would have been like, these 2 teams are in the semifinals of a college football playoff.
Last year, if you'd said you have Indiana and Texas Tech as 2 of the top 4 seeds in the college football playoff, you probably would have been like, what?
Right.
Me and James are locked in tonight. I am also going to Texas Tech Red Raiders. I think that, I hear what you're saying. I think Indiana obviously has had some more impressive wins this year, more impressive schedule, and this is very much kind of the meeting of the 2 destiny teams this year. I think the payments in terms of the amount of money that the Texas Tech has dished out is going to pay off here. I do think that they're going to get a win here. Now we'll see. In the next matchup, we'll see if that holds true still. But I do think Texas Tech takes it over Indiana.
All right, here's where we got to specify who's picking who in the
What
game.
matchup?
So Jude, you're up first. You have Ole Miss versus Ohio State in the Verbo Fiesta Bowl.
This is where Ole Miss meets their match, and there's no way. I don't think they beat Ohio State. Their offense is good. It's not that good. It's not good enough to go up and score more than Ohio State against their defense. So it's Ohio State.
James, you have Texas A&M versus Ole Miss.
I like to say this guy, Jude, he knows ball because he knows exactly what he's talking about when it comes to Ole Miss. However, he got the winner wrong. It's A&M.
Dang, so you got a far A&M run this year.
I do. Marcel's a sleeper, man.
Yeah, he's good.
Connor, you got Georgia versus Texas A&M.
Yeah, unfortunately, I am going to have to disagree with my buddy James here. I do think that Georgia is the Titan that Texas A&M kind of runs up against. Like I said, man, I think in this playoff, there's so much talent that I think so much of this playoff is going to come down to coaching. And Kirby Smart is just the best coach in college football, and he has been for a long time. And I think that experience, and especially in some of the players that have played at Georgia and have played in those environments before, I think that the experience is going to outweigh the talent here.
And then Ryan and I with matching matchups. Ohio State, Georgia, Ryan. Another great game if we got it. It'd be fun. Who you got?
I want you to go first. I'm just going to go opposite of what you do.
Fair.
Taking Georgia. I've been on the Georgia train for a while. Let's talk about schedules.
Okay.
Ohio State. Who the fuck have they played? I mean,
Texas.
This is a good point.
Texas.
Yes, Texas, who lost to Florida. That's who we're going to hang our hat on. Who went to overtime with Mississippi State and Kentucky. That's who we're hanging our hat on. I'm all about. I want to see who they've played so far and how they've played against those teams. They played really well against Indiana, but Indiana contained their offense. They scored 10 points in that game. Georgia has a really good defense. I think again, it's going to be hard to score points in this game. I don't know that Gunnar Stockton necessarily has the juice to put up a ton of points on this Ohio State defense, but I do think that the Georgia defense is a difference, and I think they get it done against the Buckeyes.
I don't believe in Gunnar Stockton.
That's where I am. That's where I'm a little concerned.
That's an Athens car dealer, if I've ever seen one. And honestly, between now and this supposed game, one of the Georgia players is going to get arrested for speeding over the holidays. I mean, it's just a
Kirby's not
given
letting them out of the
fact.
practice facility. They're all sleeping bags in the practice facility. We're not leaving. We're not going anywhere.
No going home to celebrate with the families because one of y'all's
No,
getting arrested.
fuck no. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm going with the Buckeyes. And yeah, we're just gonna leave it at that.
we all have different national championship matchups, which is
That's fun.
This
Yeah,
is good stuff
cool.
by us, guys. So we'll go back to James. It doesn't really matter because we all have different matchups. James with an all Texas
Crazy.
national
That's kinda
championship
cool.
game,
kinda
which
cool.
would
I know.
be
I'm here for
so
it.
toxic. Can you imagine
here for it.
Tech and A&M? That'd be
So
awesome.
bad.
That'd be fantastic.
I didn't even think that was a possibility, and you made
Yeah.
it happen. So now I want it to happen.
We have an all Texas matchup in Miami. James has Texas Tech and A&M. James, who you got?
So it does feel good. When I ended up seeing what I had done, I wasn't super excited, but I do think.
Have you applied to be a
super
script
toxic.
writer for college football yet? Have you applied for that? Because this is a great script.
Yeah, I might need to because it's feel good. Battle at Texas in Miami. Everybody's going about it. However, I do think this is where Marcel and his team fall short for A&M, and it is the Texas Tech Raiders that win
love
out
it.
in the Big 12 champion win. Excuse me.
Texas Tech Raiders. I love that.
Jude, Big Ten championship rematch.
There it is.
Indiana versus Ohio State.
Fernando Mendoza. Let me tell you something about a guy. He's
Okay.
definitely
Dude,
He's
he's
a guy.
he's definitely a player, in college football.
Would you give him dog status or no?
I would.
Okay, all right.
I would. And I said it's hard to beat a team twice. But when it comes to, the way that Indiana's been playing recently, I think they're the better team, but it's still Ohio State. I mean, it's hard to beat a team twice, and I don't think Indiana's going to win.
outrageous.
It happens.
Because that happened, Jude's wrong.
I hope so.
Dude,
I want
that's the
Indiana to
universe.
win. I want Fernando Mendoza to walk in there and kick some ass, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, so we'll kick it over to Ryan because him and Jude have the same college football playoff championship game. He also has Indiana and Ohio State.
Two teams that have seen each other, as we've talked about.
Buttholes and all.
So
Oh.
true. I think we've made the comment multiple times how hard it is to beat the same team twice in a year. Indiana got the best of Ohio State 13-10 in that Big Ten conference matchup. As we've seen in history, if you lose in the conference championship, you can win in the Natty. And I think we're gonna go with Ohio State here.
Let's kick it over to Connor, who has Texas Tech and the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah, it's a boring pick, and I really don't like having to do it here because I would love to see Texas Tech go all the way. I think they've certainly got the talent to be in this position, but I think Georgia matches that talent, if not more. And then I keep talking about how in this playoff specifically, I think experience is going to play such a big part of everything here. Definitely would be some interesting crowds. Obviously, I think Georgia being closer would have the bigger crowd here against Texas Tech.
You're telling me Texas Tech's in their first national championship game, and
they're traveling. They're traveling proximity wise.
You've never seen so many tortillas in Miami, which is saying something because there's a lot of tortillas in Miami.
Yeah. But yeah, unfortunately, like I said, it's kind of a boring pick, but I do think that Georgia has just been so solid, and especially with that win over Alabama. I mean, they're a disciplined team. They're a team coached by the best coach of college football, and I do think that they come out on top.
I have Indiana versus Georgia in a matchup of what I think is the two best teams in college football this year.
Sure.
I've been on the Georgia bandwagon. They're the best team in college football. All of those things. The Hoosiers get it done.
Whoa!
In the most shocking national championship winner in recent memory. I mean, I don't even know the last time we had a national championship winner that was this unexpected. I'm going to take the Hoosiers. I think they are really, really good. And while Georgia is maybe the better team, I think that Indiana just has this aura around them, has this confidence, has this momentum, all of those things to carry it through and get it done. I'm going to take the Hoosiers to win the national championship.
Did we all have different champion?
We did. So I got
That's kind
Indiana.
of insane.
Ryan has Ohio State. Connor has Georgia. James has Texas Tech. And then Jude also has Ohio State.
Oh, okay. So one.
So we have two
one
of the same.
similarity.
Jude and I be
Right.
kissing.
We have two people picking back-to-back winners, which I think is a little crazy in a 12-team playoff. But
Sure.
Agreed.
we'll see.
Yeah,
Connor's pick was not surprising with all the sloppy he gives Turby.
So true.
All right,
He's
come
sucking
on.
them off.
Come on.
And now for the picks we've all been waiting for.
Here we go. Here it
The
is.
College Football Bowl Superdog. You have so many to pick from. It's a great slate. If there's any games you want to talk about in the bowl slate, just shout them out. Go for it. We'll go to Jude for this one to give us his Superdog. So because he's the least prepared, I want him to get his sniped. So Jude, who you got?
Why would you do that?
I'm trying to keep you bringing your pick taken because I know you're not prepared.
It's hard to get my pick taken when I don't have one.
Well, that's problematic. All right, you go last then, James.
Thank you.
All right. I want to ask, what is the Superdog cutoff for spread since these bowl games are so close?
6.5.
6.5. Perfect. That is a great thing to hear because I do believe that number 12 in the country, Virginia, gets it done over a favored Missouri, which I think is a bit.
It's a great pick.
That
I
is
think it's a great
interesting.
pick. I think it's a great pick. The 7 points to Missouri was sitting
Correct.
Yeah.
It's insane. They're ranked 12th in the country. Missouri unranked. I think they get it done. They're mad about not, losing the ACC championship. It happens.
That's interesting. Interesting. Robbie, did you have one? You seemed like you had one and you were kind of gunning.
So the one that James took was one I was looking at, but I have one I like a little more.
Okay.
So it's not often that we get a bowl game that's a legitimate rivalry game. And this is maybe a little bit more under the radar rivalry game here. But Connor was talking about earlier on the pod, all the teams that opted out. We have some 5 and 7 teams coming in. Appalachian State is one of those 5 and 7 teams that got to make a bowl game that would not have previously. They're playing Georgia Southern in a rivalry that's known as Deeper Than Hate. Anytime I hear a rivalry name that has hate in the name, I'm there for it. That's fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
App State is a 7-point underdog in the Birmingham Bowl. In a rivalry game, Connor, what do we like about rivalry games? We like to take the underdog in a rivalry game, right?
Always.
We love to do
Always.
that. I got App State plus 7.5. They're 5 and 7. Georgia Southern 6 and 6. That seems like too many points to me for teams that are right there on the bubble that I'm sure had close wins and losses. I'll take App State plus 7.
I think that's a great pick.
Hmm.
I was looking at that
Ryan.
earlier too, Robbie.
Yeah.
Ryan, you got one?
I mean, some of these are just gross.
Yeah, I was struggling through some of these. These are some tough ones. These are some tough ones to kind of sift through. You know what? I'm gonna do it, and it's a terrible pick. No, I'm not gonna do it. it was too terrible. I couldn't stomach it. I'm not gonna do it. I could. I was trying to think if I'm gonna go for the the Superdog who I want to win or just the Superdog cover, but I'm behind at this point, so it doesn't actually matter. So I might as well go for the more fun one, and I just missed. what
God,
the
some of these
actual
dogs are
spread
just
was.
bad.
Yeah.
100%. Here it is.
Also,
Sorry, go ahead, Rob.
I say we can't pick it, but Houston's favored by 3 against LSU, which is really funny. Just
This is a terrible pick, and I fully acknowledge it's a terrible pick because Utah's had a good year. Utah has had a good year. They've only lost to the 2 best teams of the Big 12, BYU and Texas Tech, obviously. I'm taking the Nebraska Cornhuskers to at least cover the 16.5 point spread, off chance on the win.
without Rayola.
You know what? 16.5. Utah is good, but I don't really think that Utah is that good. And I think that Nebraska, even though they don't have Raiola with this specific game, I think, maybe the run game can establish enough. I also think it's just a fun one. I think that's just a fun one out there to kind of pick. And I'm not really loving, I don't really think the other ones are feasible, to be totally honest. So might as well go with one of the fun ones.
I want to go with the Pirates.
Yeah.
We got Pitt. We got ECU. Couple of. I think ECU is also 8-4. A couple of 8-4 teams squaring off. Pitt's got a 9.5 point favorite. I think
That feels low to me, right? I actually would have expected that to be 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, so that's why Vegas might know something.
Dude.
That I don't.
UTSA was the weirdest team this year. Have you guys looked at their schedule, Robbie? They beat Tulane, but then they lost to Army. They have some weird schedule wins and losses. Yeah, UTSA
And
was
you
good
know my favorite game. Pick the cheapest bowl game that you could potentially go to, and that belongs for $20. Excuse me, for $16.
Okay.
Central Michigan versus Northwestern at an NFL field. You can go see this at Ford Field.
You're actually wrong about what the cheapest bowl game is.
Uh-oh.
You want to know why? Because you can get yourself into the Boca Raton Bowl presented by Bush's Beans by just showing up with a can of Bush's Beans.
That's awesome.
Crash out.
All you have to do is show up with a can of beans. First
I'm
2,000
going.
people show up with a can of beans to get into the football
2,000?
game. 2,000 people with a can of beans to get into the football game. It's all
That
getting donated
goes
to a homeless shelter, which is awesome. But, so you're wrong.
I'm wrong.
Boca Raton Bowl.
Damn it, that was the other one I was thinking of picking was Toledo over Louisville. Damn, I should have gotten that one. I didn't know that. That's awesome. All right, Jude, you got one?
Yes.
Here we go.
And I narrowed it down to 2. And
Pick one.
I flipped a coin
Okay.
because the first one that I saw was FIU UTSA.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's just an awesome game.
Yeah.
But then I scrolled down almost as far as I could. And I found Cincinnati versus Navy.
Mm-hmm. I saw that one too, yeah.
Elite matchup.
Navy's favored by 7. And I just don't think that they win that game. I mean, Cincinnati is an actual team. I don't.
Wow.
Have you
Navy
seen
disrespect.
Cincinnati over the last month?
Yes.
I think it's worth pointing out, though, that obviously Navy runs that triple option. It's really hard to prepare for in a week. It's a lot easier to prepare for in multiple weeks. So you just get to sit there and practice it. It's a good pick, Jude. I don't hate that. Picking against the service academies as much as it's unpatriotic in bowl games, not a bad play.
Yep.
Thank you, Robert. You just earned more beer money.
There it is.
Hey,
yes!
What are you aiming for?
I still got one more blind pirate left. I bought two of the big guys, so we're locked in.
That's beautiful.
But anyways, that is all for our college football postseason pick'em. Does anyone want to point out any other bowl games that anything else they wanted to talk about? Anything else that piqued your interest?
I do want to mention the Texas Tech BYU game. I think BYU is favored, but Tech will win. However, what I'm most interested in is betting on which Pop-Tart will be the sacrifice this year.
Oh,
there's 6 options.
Good call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your pick?
So my pick is 100% the wild berry, because whichever one pick gets brought back into circulation, and I think that is what the American.
Oh, they do the ones that are out of. I didn't realize. I was going to take brown sugar cinnamon, but I didn't realize it's ones that are off the market now. They're going to bring back into circulation.
I got them right here. It's frosted
brown
cherry.
sugar cinnamon's off market.
No, it's not. I didn't realize that was part of the stipulation of what could go in. Yeah.
Here are the 6 available for betting.
Yeah,
it is frosted
please.
cherry, strawberry protein Pop-Tarts, cookies and cream, hot fudge sundae, chocolate chip cookie dough, and frosted wild berry.
Dude, half of those are the ones that like Ryan and I got when we were growing up. I didn't know those were out of circulation.
now I'm
that's
fat.
crazy.
We got to talk about frosted cherry is an underdog here, but I fuck with a frosted cherry Pop-Tart.
Yeah, I mess with a lot of Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, actually, I should say I mess with Pop-Tarts in general. Did you guys see the whole thing about they were on a Zoom call and Brent Key gave his favorite Pop-Tart, which I'm blanking on which one it was, and then Satake came on from BYU and gave the same answer, what his favorite Pop-Tart was, and Brent Key was in the Zoom call doing like the reactions, like clapping and like thumbs up and like all of that. And if you're Notre Dame, you opted out of this bowl game. Why? Like,
yeah, it's fun,
just
dude.
coward behavior.
No, actually, you know what? Just because holiday season, I don't know why it's kind of speaking to me here. I'm gonna go with cookies and cream. I think the cookies and cream is gonna make the comeback.
Why is there
cream guy?
Bad pick. Bad pick.
I'm not saying it's my favorite.
Why is there not an eggnog Pop-Tart?
I would.
That would hit.
Destroy an eggnog.
That would hit.
Dip that in some eggnog.
What is it with eggnog, man?
I haven't had a
Frozen
Pop-Tart in years.
Yeah,
That's
Sure, buddy.
I don't. Yeah.
Sure, buddy. Sure, buddy.
Send
Yeah,
me
you
those
had
gas
some
station receipts.
30 minutes ago.
Let's check that out.
Check the Carfax.
All right. Well, we will see who wins the guest pick'em. I think there's enough different that you guys should be
Yeah, yeah.
different. If not,
I'm
then
not
it
feeling
could
confident about my picks. I'll be so real with you.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But for myself, Connor, Ryan, James, and Jude, thank you for listening. Hopefully you got some college football insight. There's brackets now for college football, which is crazy. So maybe you'll win your bracket pool. If I win my work one, I get free swag at work. So that's a big upside. So I'll be wrong. I picked the same games I picked for that one and this. We'll see how that pans out. But thank you again for listening. Please gamble responsibly. Have a great holiday season and goodbye.